And closing down the eyes, we're taking a low gaze, letting the eyes soften, letting the face soften. Letting go of your day. Letting everything else begin to melt away as you move into this space, this time for you on your mat. As you breathe there, noticing the quality of the breath. They say that the breath reflects our prana, our energy. So just noticing how yours is today. No judgment on it, just becoming aware. And if it helps, to place a hand on the belly, maybe one on the chest. Begin to imagine the breath first moving into that top hand. As if you're breathing through that top hand. Chest expanding out, connecting with the palm of the hand. Creating that connection around the body. And then I invite you to see how it feels to bring the breath down into that second hand, the hand on the belly. As the diaphragm moves down, expanding the space in the abdomen, the lungs expanding to their full capacity. Now imagining you're breathing into both hands at the same time. If you'd like to join me, you can do a few rounds of the counted breath, releasing the hands down if they're still on you. We'll do a few rounds of counted breath. So take in just a normal inhale, and breathing it out. You're very welcome just to listen to the sound of my voice here. I'm going to inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. And you can continue doing that, maybe increasing your count, or maybe not using a count, just taking your awareness to the movement of the chest. And then releasing the control on the breath, bringing your awareness to the heart center where your top hand previously rested. From that place, that quiet space within you, expanding your awareness out in all directions. And doing a small body scan, just checking in with how you feel physically today. Noticing any areas that feel tight or uncomfortable, or may need just some extra awareness as we move through practice. Being welcome to take any modifications or do anything differently. You do not need to follow what I say as we move through. If at any time you want to pause and rest, just sit for a while, please do so. And taking 2 last deep breaths here. Beginning to gently invite movement into the fingers and the toes. Maybe taking some rotations of the wrists and the ankles. And changing the rotation the other direction. Maybe taking a really nice stretch overhead or any other wriggly movements that feel nice. Really just getting into all those nooks and crannies. And then hugging the knees in gently, one by one, or coming up in any way that suits to a comfortable seated position. We'll meet seated. We're going to inhale the arms up. And it's an exhale to bring the hands down and forward. Inhale, bringing them up. Look to the hands. Exhale, down and forward. Hello, Kaya. Inhale, arms up. 2 more of these. Exhale, down and forward. Last one, inhale, arms up. Exhale, down and forward. And pausing in that forward position. Just going to gently lift one arm up. And then swap, lift the other arm up. Really stretching the fingertips away. Back to the first arm. Stretch those fingertips. And the second arm. And then slowly coming back up to a seated position. I'm going to interlace the hands in front of the body, as if you're holding a beach ball in between your arms. And curling the spine round, so you're creating a C shape with your spine, letting your chin come down to your chest. Really hug that beach ball. Active arms here. Almost as if you're trying to pull that interlace apart. One more breath here. And then as you come up, release the hands, sweep them around behind the back, and take that interlace behind the back this time. If you turn the palms to face away from you, you can give an extra squeeze to the shoulder blades to come together. Lifting the chest, broadening across the collarbones. One more breath here. And we'll do that a bit quicker, moving between them. So on the next exhale, swing the arms round and curl the spine, drop the chin to the chest. As you inhale, sweep the arms behind, interlace, and lift the chest. Exhale, curling round. Inhale, sweeping back. One more. Just following your own breath, your own time. And then releasing the hands down. We're going to come over onto all fours and take a brief puppy pose. So come into all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, coming down onto the forearms and letting the chest sink towards the mat whilst the hips stay high. You can walk the arms away if you wish to, bringing the forehead down, chest coming lower. And taking a few breaths there. One more breath in. Breathing it out. Coming back onto the elbows and sliding the legs away behind to come down onto the belly on the mat. Taking the feet mat width apart. The elbows under the shoulders or slightly in front. And coming into a Sphinx pose. Pressing the pubic bone into the mat. Getting long from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Broadening across those collarbones again. One more breath in. Breathing it out. And then it's an inhale as we push back up to all fours. And meet here on all fours. Extending the right leg back behind, the left arm in front. So we inhale, the arm and the leg up. Exhale, we'll place it down. Inhale, we'll swap sides, lifting the left leg, right arm. Exhale, place it down, back to the first side. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale the other side. Exhale down. Last round on your own, with your own breath. Meeting back in all fours. I'm going to step that right foot through between the hands and come up into a kneeling lunge. Allowing the hips to come down towards the mat. So really thinking about that tailbone being long, coming down to the mat. And then allowing the hips to gently come forward. Bringing the arms up on an inhale. And then with an exhale, we'll straighten into the front leg, bringing the hands down and pointing the toes to the sky for half Hanumanasana. Next inhale, coming forward into the lunge again. As we exhale, coming back into the half Hanumanasana. Can be helpful to place some blocks alongside the legs to help with the balance. One more, inhale into the lunge. And exhale, coming back. Keeping a soft bend in that front knee to decrease the sensation. Bending into that right knee again. We're going to tuck the toes on the back foot and lift the back knee and step that back foot forward a little to come into pyramid pose. Again, the hands might be on the knee or the shin or the floor. Keeping the back straight and leaning forward. One more breath here. And we're going to bring the hands down to the mat. Drop that back knee. Keeping the left hand planted, lifting the right arm to the sky. And take some rotations of the wrists here, working into those wrists. Grabbing something off the ceiling, just getting some nice movement into the hands. Especially if they've been typing or holding anything all day. Nice to get little wriggles as well as we get a twist here. And then exhaling that right hand down, stepping the left leg back, and back to all fours. From here, I'm going to step the left foot forward and come up to our lunge again. So you're going to take that same little flow on the left side, dropping the hips down, letting that tailbone anchor towards the mat. Arms up, feeling that length and space down each side as you reach the arms up. Keeping the shoulders dropping away from the ears. Taking the left foot out wider can sometimes help with the balance here. And then as you exhale, straightening into the front leg and picking the toes up. Only coming down as far as is comfortable. And a couple of breaths here. Letting that hamstring ease into this position. And then slowly coming forward, lifting the arms up. Maybe even looking up to the hands this time if that feels okay. And then as you exhale, coming down, straightening that leg. One more on this side, in your own time. And we'll all meet. Put the hands down. Tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee to step that back foot in a little. Coming to pyramid pose. Taking your gaze, your drishti, towards your toes. And again, choosing how high or how low your torso is towards the mat. One more breath in. And it's an exhale to bring the hands down, drop the knee, keeping the left hand planted. We'll inhale the right hand planted, inhale the left arm up to the sky. And again, taking those wrist rotations, giving our wrists some love, and then grabbing things off the ceiling. Spiders, maybe not spiders, not for everyone. And then releasing that hand down, bringing the left knee back, and coming back to sit on our heels. I'm going to do some zombie raises, my favourite name for a posture. So the zombie raise involves thinking about tucking the pelvis under, and then we come up and keep pushing that pelvis into an imaginary wall in front of you. From there, we'll bring our arms out in front. And it's a lean back as you exhale without bringing the bum back the way. You're keeping that pelvis pushed forward, and then inhale to come forward. Maybe a very small movement. So it's an exhale back, leaning back at the same time pushing the pelvis forward, and an inhale up. Last one, exhale back, and an inhale up. From here, I'm going to tuck the toes. You can sit the bum back towards the heels a little. This can be quite strong on the toes. You can untuck the toes if it's a little uncomfortable. And taking the right hand onto the right heel or onto a block or a bolster beside you. We'll do half camel. So as an inhale, we're going to sweep that left arm up, push the pelvis forward like we just did, and an exhale, bringing the bum down to the heels and the arm down. Again, inhaling up, sweeping that arm up, and exhaling down. One more on this side. Inhale the arm up, and exhale down. Swap your block over to the left side. It's an inhale up and an exhale down. Thinking of keeping that pelvis pushing forward as you come up and an exhale down. Last one with your own breath. And then from there, once you finish your last one, untucking the toes and taking the knees wide, coming down into child's pose. For a few breaths, slowing everything down again. Connecting back in to the breath. Connecting back into how you feel physically and how that is impacting the breath. And see if you can slow everything down. One more breath in. And breathe it out. And you come back up to all fours. We're going to move into our first downward dog. So tucking those toes that have had a nice stretch and lifting the hips high towards the ceiling for downward dog. Keeping a bend in the knees, really pushing back through the hands. Shoulders, shoulder blades almost melting off the sides of the body. No need to squeeze them together or pull them down the back. Just letting them open, broad. One more breath here. And then we're going to slowly walk the feet in towards the hands. And take a dangle in a ragdoll. So letting the head hang heavy. Maybe catching opposite elbows. Maybe taking a little sway from side to side. Keeping the weight forward into the balls of the feet. And breathe in here. And releasing the arms if they're held. Taking a deep bend into the knees. And inhale the arms up for Utkatasana chair pose. Taking the right ankle and crossing over the left knee. You can exhale the hands down to heart center or onto your waist or grabbing a wall, whatever feels best today. Letting that right knee open out to the side. Maybe you're bringing the elbows down onto the heel and the knee. Or maybe you're higher up, less of a cross. One more breath here. And then releasing that right foot, taking a big step to the back of the mat and coming into a lunge on the left side. From this lunge, we're going to take our weight into our left foot and pick up the back foot just ever so slightly, coming towards a warrior three. Maybe it feels okay to raise that back foot higher. Maybe you're just playing with keeping it low and gently lifting it off the floor and dropping it. One more breath wherever you are. Taking that big step back and dropping that foot again. Releasing the hands down. I'm going to drop the back knee slowly. Taking the hands down. Left foot comes back. And option 2, take a few breaths in child's pose, or come into downward dog, or stay on all fours. Taking a few breaths wherever you want. Then we're all going to meet in downward dog. This time, I'm going to inhale the right leg up to the sky. Bend the right knee so that the heel comes towards the bum. And take some circles with that right knee. So drawing big circles into that right knee. And changing direction. Pretty wonky looking circles at my end. And then releasing that leg down. Changing legs, inhaling the left leg up to the sky. Exhale to bend that knee, bringing the heel to the bum. And then drawing the circles. Keeping the fingers of the hands spread wide. And change direction of your circles. And then release that leg back down. We're going to walk the feet to the hands again. This time we'll take an inhale to look forward and lengthen the spine. And exhale to fold back down. Same again. Inhale, look forward and lengthen. And then exhale to fold in. This time taking a deep bend in the knees and inhaling the arms up into Utkatasana chair pose. Take one more breath in your chair pose. And then we're going to cross that left ankle, cross the right knee, bring the hands into prayer position. Choosing your place. Pushing into that standing leg, keeping the left foot flexed, finding that steady gazing point. Which I lost there. One more breath. I'm going to take a big step back with the left leg this time into a lunge. You can keep the hands at heart center or on the waist. You're going to take the weight back into that right leg and pick up the left foot. Again, choosing if it's raises that you're doing here or if you're coming more towards warrior 3 posture. Aiming at keeping the back of the pelvis even. One more breath. And a big step back from there. A very slow lower of that back knee. Really worked into the quads there and the standing leg. And then release the knees down, hands down, and come into a child's pose. Or any other posture that feels good to connect back. Taking one more breath there. On your next inhale, coming back up and coming around to a seated position, bringing the legs out in front. We're going to take a forward fold. If you have a block or a bolster, it might feel nice to sit up onto there. Bring the legs forward. We will inhale the arms up. And then it's an exhale to come forward as far as feels comfortable. Sweeping the hands down and inhale them back up, reaching for the sky. I'm going to do that twice more. Exhale forward, sweeping the hands round, inhale up. Last one, exhaling forward, sweeping the hands, inhale up. And exhale the hands down to the heart center, taking a low gaze, connecting in, taking a few breaths to slow down. Noticing the quality of the breath, noticing the heart rate. And then it's an inhale to raise the hands back up. And an exhale, coming forward, and this time we're going to hold our forward fold. Now the hands come to the thighs, the shins, the ankles, the toes. You choose where you want to be. I'll be here for another 5 deep breaths. Noticing if the pelvis is tipped forward, thinking about keeping that tailbone long. Keeping length through either side of the body. Not getting too compacted down. Last breath. I'm going to inhale to come back up. And an exhale to remove your props. And this time we'll take the legs into a butterfly position. Again, as near or as far away as feels comfortable. Letting those knees gently drop out. Option to pop blocks under your knees or a bolster. Thinking about getting really long through the body. Crown of the head is pulled up. Getting long. And then just very gently, we're coming forward, keeping the back straight. So maybe it's a very small movement here. Coming forward as far as feels good to you. A gentle stretch into the inner groin. And again, invite you to take a low gaze. Close the eyes here. Taking 5 more deep breaths here. And then it's an inhale to come back up. An exhale to gently lift the legs together. And then from here, we're going to come into Shavasana. So your choice of Shavasana. Maybe you're seated, maybe you're laying flat. Maybe you have a bolster under your knees with your knees bent up. Maybe you've got the backs of your legs up on a chair or a sofa. Picking what feels good for you today. Settling in for Shavasana, taking a deep breath in. Gently opening the mouth and sighing it out. Another deep breath in. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Once more. And as you sigh it out, feel a wave of softening, of muscles releasing, flowing down through the body. There's nothing more to do today, no more effort, no more control on the breath, the mind, or the body. Now you can release into stillness. as you lay there, continue to rest. Even though Kaya is shouting at us, I want to share a little reading with you. I hope you are blessed with a heart like a wildflower, strong enough to rise again after being trampled upon, tough enough to weather the worst of the summer storms, and able to grow and flourish even in the most broken places. The pets are hassling everyone in Shavasana today. So if you've not already been thoroughly disturbed, just gently beginning to deepen the breath and invite some movement into the fingers and the toes. And take a nice stretch overhead. And then gently bending the knees in. Give yourself a really big hug. You made it on your mat. You practiced really well. Put in lots of effort. So give yourself a big thank you for that. And a big thank you for me for joining and letting me guide you through. We'll take a few breaths together to close our practice. Breathing in calm and breathing out clarity. Breathing in connection between us all and breathing out kindness into the world. Thank you all for joining.